Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the gift card that you can receive in Dbz Dokkan Battle during the Exploding Gratitude Thank You campaign, and we'll discuss which units I think you should pull. Now, a couple disclaimers before we get into how you get the tickets. It's very important that you take whatever units you want. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As long as you take the unit you want, then it's pretty good. Now, in terms of getting the gift cards, you obtain them in a couple ways. So there's up to 6 cards, I believe, that you can obtain. You get 2 from login, 1 for part 1 and 1 for part 2. You will then obtain some from the special missions. So you can get up to 2 from the special missions as well, which is pretty good. And then you can get another 1 from the part 3 missions, or part 2 missions, sorry. So that leaves you with 5. And then from the Porunga Dragon Ball summon, you can obtain 1 card 2 different times. So that gives you 7 in total. It's pretty simple. You wish for the gift cards. You'll see an option to wish for the gift cards in the first set and third set of Porunga Dragon Balls. And the special missions that you'll need to complete are also fairly straightforward. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. Now, obviously the gift card, like I say, it's best for you to summon or pick units that essentially are obviously ones you want. Your box is going to be very different to mine. Mine is going to be very different to yours. Prioritize first dupes and units that you'll find useful, otherwise prioritize second dupes and units that are already useful for you, and then you can kind of take it from there. To exchange the gift card, you just simply have to go to the Baba shop, and then you will be able to essentially trade in the gift cards that you have and select one of the units. Now, it's super important basically to understand that you can pick the unit and take it, but you're not able to spend all your gift cards to rainbow one unit. So you can't rainbow just one unit. You will have to pick multiple different units. It is just the case. Now, in terms of actual usable units, there are plenty of usable units here for various levels of content. However, I'm going to pick a couple units that I feel have very specific uses and are specifically good in certain scenarios, or are just plain good units. The first of those units that we're going to start with is the AGL LR Golden Freezer. Even without his EZA, a very good tank. With his EZA, an exceptional tank. His massive damage reduction stands the test of time, and he's incredibly useful in a variety of teams. The next unit that is probably very solid, I would say, at least in terms of your selection, or at least they're okay, is the God Vegeta and the God Goku. I think they have their usabilities. However, the big pickup is Trunks and Mai. Trunks and Mai are great on a Future Saga team. They are really, really, really good. And after their EZA from the Worldwide Celebration, they're just a really, really top tier pick. A lot of the future characters are, just due to obviously their EZAs being the most recent. A nice little pickup that I always like to mention is Janembu. He's really, really good. It may surprise people, but he's actually really, really good. And he can help to round out some of your extreme teams because of how good he is, with guard and evasion and stacking. He's really, really solid. Then, a couple notable tech picks, but for me, the only other real one is Super Saiyan Bardock. The Trunks is too dependent on Future Gohan for me to really exonerate him, but if you have a Future Gohan, then go for it. But this Bardock is really, really good and an orb changer. On the same note, there are some characters here that have nuking leader skills, and I highly suggest if you don't have them, you pick some of them up, because having the ability to create nuking teams is very important to a lot of content in the game. So I highly suggest that you do this. Enter Brienne is a great free-to-play pickup. Fantastic unit that you can use. She leads Pepe Gals, but she's just overall a great unit that really helps you to make some really strong free-to-play teams and can help carry you through the early to mid-game just with how exceptional she is. At the same time, Chi-Chi, and just in general, a lot of Pepe Gals units on this selection. You could use all of these gift cards to make yourself, as a new player, a full Pepe Gals team, and I wouldn't even question you because of how strong the options are. Strength Piccolo, it's not the tanky one, but it is the AoE one, and if you are struggling for AoE units, this guy is a really good pickup. Exceptional, really great AoE unit, super duper solid and very useful for a lot of content. Then we have the Kulieza, I almost said Frula, the Kulieza, who is a really nice pickup for extreme teams, and similarly with the Android 18. Both of them aren't exceptionally good individually, but they're nice foil components for teams that you can build with them featured in it, which tends to make them run pretty well, and they're nice just floating options in general. So then on the physical side, we have Chowman, who's also an AoE unit. He's a little bit harder to utilize than Piccolo. His teams are a bit more limited. He is just a bit more limited as a unit. And if you're looking at fusion type units, I think it's way better to pick up Weirus, who's a double orb changer. He provides support. He's as limited as Chowman, but I find that he's more useful than Chowman, because although Chowman can do some interesting things, I think personally Weirus, I use him a lot for Ultimate Clash. He's just a very nice pickup unit that can do really well. And then Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, along with any of the Super Saiyan 3 units. Super Saiyan 3 is a very small category. You may want to use this opportunity to expand on your Super Saiyan 3 category, as it is incredibly limited. And then we have the Super Saiyan Bardock, who got his EZA and is a very solid tank. He's not insane, but he's really quite solid. And yeah, that's my picks. There's a tons of great other options, like Tech, AGL Goten, Physical Trunks, who have great EZAs, just good units in general, but these are my top picks. But I'd love to hear yours down below. That's it from me. Bye.